I think he's gonna spar with the media, Coop. If the media he turns on them, they turn on him.
Oh,
The
man,
stories are gonna come, and that distraction is so fucking toxic. And Redick's gonna come in with that same reputation. You haven't won anything yet, and you're gonna then spew out things in your press conference like LeBron and I never discussed this.
That's what he said.
Dropped 2 F-bombs. I couldn't believe it. In a
Well, you know
national
what?
press
You
conference.
better be careful because they'll turn on you, and then the fans will turn on you, and then it's going to be a total mess.
NBA History Channel is powered by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Welcome to another Showtime with Coop, insightful BS with my Laker teammates, NBA legends, as well as NBA great players, along with Nick. We're flying solo again, and we're going to start having guests in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be traveling, so we may be off the air for a minute. But, we'll start the show off with something that you'll want to hear and talk about. The Boston Celtics winning their 18th championship. And you sent me a picture the other day about the shirt that you had. I call bullshit to that. But what I did last night, Nick, I went out with some friends, and this guy, I told him, I said, if the Celtics win, I'll go out with you, because I usually don't associate with them, but I associate with him. So I went out, and the guy bought me these glasses.
Weed glasses, but at least they're green.
So he was having a good time while I watched them, because I don't participate in this. And he laughed at everything I said about the Lakers possibly winning a championship. He laughed at that. He fell out on the floor, him and his friend. And he goes, you know what, Coop? The Lakers will never win another championship within the next 10 years. Now, if you're looking at things like that, and I'll take these stupid glasses off.
I love those, Coop. Yeah.
I'll be 78, and I bet him that the Lakers will win in the next 7 years. So we got into this back and forth, tit for tat. And, eventually I proved my point on what they're going to do. And we're going to get into that segment later, because it all starts with the coach, and the Lakers have finally picked a coach. But back to the Celtics, I do a show out here on ABC, and they call me the jinx, because every team I root for and calling those series, the team I wanted to win always lost.
Yep.
I thought I'd try some reverse psychology on the show. When we got to the finals, it was the Mavericks and the Celtics playing, and I became a Celtic fan. Just for the 59 minutes of the show. That's it. 59 minutes. Now, it wasn't with my heart. It was more with my mouth and my presence. And I wore a leprechaun suit. I wore a green hat. I was rooting for the Celtics so hard. And you know what? Come to find out, Nick, I am not a jinx. I'm pretty good at calling the team.
Well, just bet for the Celtics all the time. That's all.
And the Celtics won their championship, and I'm not happy for them. But I if you're looking at, and this is what basketball is all about, who is the best team for the year? You have to tip your hat. The Celtics were the best team. Did we think that they would win a championship? I didn't. I thought they'd get to the Eastern Conference. I know you did, and that's why you're raising your stupid hand and stuff. But you know what, Nick? I'm going to turn over the next 2.5 minutes to you.
Turn the timer on.
Explain and talk about your beloved, Celtics. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep it shorter, Coop. All I can say is this: I finally, in a very distant way, got the opportunity to in a very small way, know what it felt like in '84 when they stormed that court on you guys, because I have never seen a championship game. I've never covered a championship clinching game, and I have never been in an arena or a place with 20,000 people it's all cheering and ecstatic for the exact same thing. I mean, I've been to concerts, everybody sings together, but this was more like the sense of relief that came over the arena was just like, I can't really put it into words. And then the parade was almost 2 million people, only 2 arrests, but that city really showed itself and how much they love that team. And the players love us back. So all is good up in Boston, and rightfully so. The Celtics are back on top of the championship contest versus the Lakers, with the Lakers having really no reprieve in sight over the next 3-4 seasons, maybe 5. And Boston looks poised to win 2 or 3. Hey, we may have another Red Auerbach-like dynasty here in Boston. Your team can go back to Minneapolis. Actually, they won 5 titles there, so I can't say too much. Go ahead, Coop. That's my rubbing it in. It was the greatest thing I've ever experienced in sports.
Nick, you get it out?
I'm done.
And
I think I was pretty humble and all that, too. I didn't go crazy. Because you know why? You
like
purposely you purposely avoided me for 10 days following the championship. Purposely. I was texting you. You were avoiding me. I knew I was on silent, so I figured I'd go easy today.
Well, you look like a man that is about to bust out, start laughing, and
yes.
Rightfully so. The Celtics, they've won 18 championships. And, as I sat down and I was thinking about things, do the in-season tournament count for championship?
Well, come on.
That doesn't count for anything?
No, it doesn't. No, don't embarrass yourself. Seriously, because when they hung that, you were like, I probably wouldn't have hung that. I wouldn't hung it.
Well, I'm going to say this, Nick, and I think we have something in common for this particular moment, because when we beat the Celtics in 1985, it's like you said, it's a sense of relief of going through the grind with them, the ups and downs. And 85, the Laker organization had never beaten the Celtics. And you know what? We finally got it done. So I know exactly how you were feeling then. And it's a hell of a feeling.
It is a feeling.
When it seems like, you know what, and I say sports is the one common denominator, and it trumps racism and everything else in the world. When you get a city to come together and everybody's in for the same common goal, and that's to beat whoever you're playing. In this case, it happens to be the Mavericks. That is an indescribable feeling. So I do know where you are coming from. But the only thing I'm mad about is you get to feel that feeling again, and it's going to be some time for us. But I think through the process, we will eventually get there, because you got to remember, the Celtics were dragging their ass all the last 3 or 4 years, had this team here. Tatum and Brown can't play together. There was always some discord. There was always things going on within the organization. And the fans were kind of like there halfway, but they weren't there all the way until the team put it together. Obviously, Coach Joe Mazzulla did a great job with that.
Credit him.
Now he's being called the greatest coach to ever live.
All right, now come on.
He's a good coach.
He's a good coach. I mean, let's not go crazy.
You go back to back, then I'll consider you a pretty damn good coach. But right now, you did what you're supposed to do. You had the best team. You're supposed to win. If you didn't win, you're going to get fired anyway. So he did his job. And so I will agree with you on that feeling. All right. So, Nick, for this particular show, I tip my hat to you. And as much as I hate the Boston Celtics, you guys did a damn good job. But with that being said, now we're going to move to the next phase.
Wait, before you move, Coop, the one thing...
We're not going away from the Celtics. We're going to
stay. Oh, okay, good, okay.
We're going to stay here, okay? But we're going to the next phase. Yeah, we gave you your kudos. The Celtics win. Now the key is, what do they do to get better next year?
They need another big to solidify that center position, because obviously... Al Horford was incredible in the playoffs, but he's a year older. And Kristaps Porzingis, we love him here. And a year ago, around this time, you and I were going, I don't know if I like that move, right? With moving Marcus out. We love him here now. He's great for the locker room, and he's great when he's on the court. But he needs backup. We need more backup.
Paper. He always hurt. He always hurt. So.
Charmin, soft. Yeah. So, but I don't think he's soft. I just think he's delicate. The one thing, I mean, and truly, those are that's really the biggest thing. They're going to run it back, and they need to. This is their window. And if anybody knows,
really believe that, you really believe they're going to run it back.
100%. They're not changing that roster. They're not changing that roster. Next year, they're going to have to, because of the stupid new cap with those aprons and everything. But, Coop, I'm going to throw it back to you and ask you, because you really are the last 2 teams to repeat were the Lakers and the Lakers, right?
Lakers and the Pistons. Pistons went back to back.
Did the Pistons go? Yeah, but in the 80s. I'm saying since today, looking back, it was the Lakers of Shaq and you guys, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yep.
So, and the Pistons, and the Pistons, and the Pistons. So you know all about repeating.
So this is what I'm going to say and add my 2 cents to it. What you have to do, and this is a great thing about Jerry West.
We're going to talk about him too.
He always went out and found that other player that was hungry, because the hunger is what drives you to win the championship. Now that you feasted, and like Tatum has said, you know what? This is indescribable. I don't know what to say. That feeling is going to be, that's not the, right now he's full, and he'll be full going into the season and all that, but he won't be hungry. And that's the biggest thing. You got to find that other piece, especially if it's a young player, somebody that's going to be part of the rotation. That hunger is what drives you to play your heart out and to do anything you have to do. And I think that's going to be the Celtics' biggest issue of having. Everybody's full now. Table's been eating. There's food everywhere. Now, okay, I'll sit back on this. No, you got to have, okay, I got another stomach. Like cow, cows have 2 stomachs. Okay, I got another stomach that has to be filled. And I think that's going to be the thing. But if you go out and find that one piece, and that's going to be Brad
Stevens.
Brad Stevens. That's going to be his job, is to find that piece, a marquee piece, another piece. Nobody to come over and take Tatum and Brown or anybody else, but somebody that's going to add to them that says, I want to win. I ain't never felt that like this. I want to go get that. Then that'll be, to me, that'll be the turning point. When will it happen? Not at the beginning of the season.
Trade deadline.
At the middle of the season, right after the All-Star break, and that last half of the season.
It always happens then, right? It's like everybody kind of flushes their way out, and those that are left are usually wily veterans that want to win a title. You guys know all about that. I mean, Bob McAdoo, right? Michael Thompson. Jerry West was the best at retooling. The Celtics had it too with Parrish and McHale, and then Walton. So you're right. Good teams need to continually inject new life into it, and that
Game Time is the authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. So it's really easy. Just download the Game Time app. Okay, now to me right now, the Red Sox are the ticket you want. So go to a Red Sox game. There's nothing better than going to Fenway Park or going to a baseball game, period. So what you do is you download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off of your first purchase. Again, redeem the code CLNS for $20 off. Terms apply. Create an account and redeem the code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
desire to win, that starving. That's one of the things that was great about the Celtics this year was that Drew Holiday, as much as he's won already, he wanted to separate himself from his peers. Porzingis, Horford, those guys were starving to win. And finally, Brown and Tatum learned how to kind of play together and realized, Tatum in particular, realized that contributing to winning doesn't always mean scoring, and he really turned on his inner Bird and Magic in that series, in the finals, really, dishing the ball, getting assists. How many games he had 10 assists going into the half? I mean, so they're growing up, I would agree with you, but not to change the subject totally, but I do want to get your thoughts on Mr. West, because you didn't get to really sound off on that after his passing.
Let me hit one last thing for you with Tatum. And going into that Celtics, I think he'll be the one player with that hunger. Yeah. Because
the MVP.
You know what? It was a close call for the
MVP. It really was.
It was a very close call, but you had to give it to Brown because that game 3 or 4 that he had where he had the 30 points and hit that big shot. Yep. Tatum felt he should have been the MVP.
You saw it on his face.
Yeah, you can see it on his face. I mean, the average person wouldn't, but if you know basketball players, how competitive we are or can be, and that's anybody in anything you do, and you can see it. So his drive will be next year. Okay, I'm going to show you.
There's meat left on the bone. Yeah, there's meat left on the bone.
So that'll be a good. I think he'll lead that drive. He'll be the one that want to get back and show everybody, hey, you guys. Not that Brown didn't deserve it, but I thought I should have deserved it. But Good point. But again, going to Jerry West, we lost Mr. Jerry West, the logo. Was it been 2 weeks ago
Two
now?
weeks, yeah, 2 weeks. We
And
lost Walton and then West, right, in a
yeah,
2 week period.
you know what? The thing about Jerry was Jerry was a very humble man, very emotional, and Jerry was one of a kind. And I can really, really say this because the funny part about Jerry West and my relationship, our relationships crossed way back in 1974, 75. He used to do a camp out at Occidental College called Camp Clutch. And to go to his camp, because we didn't have the money to pay, I had to shoot free throws at the boys club, boys and girls club. Me and 10 guys shot free throws. Only 5 of us had to go, and count it down. Okay, you 4 go, you 3, and I won it. So I had opportunity to go to his camp, and Jerry was there only for an hour every day. He came in, spoke, and and the one time, the last day of the camp on Friday, he picked me, and this wasn't on purpose. He just grabbed me, and it happened to be me, and he showed me how to shoot free throws. And he goes, "Young man, you got great form," and I'll never forget that, man. So
did you ever bring it up to him?
Huh?
Did you ever bring that up to him? Talk back on it?
He knew that. Jerry knew that, and we talked about it and laughed, and then I go on, play high school, go to college. And the Lakers finally picked me. So now, as I go to the Laker organization, I'm going there as a rookie coming in, fresh new. Jerry West is the head coach.
Yeah.
And he was always giving me advice and lessons there and how to be a better player and how to be a better person, through all of that. Once he stepped out of the head coaching, he moved up. And he was always a man of integrity. And as he moved up and I retired, I got an opportunity to work up underneath him, watch how he drafted players, how he looked at players. And Jerry was just the kindest guy, man. He could be an asshole every now and then.
How?
Player, but I mean, it wasn't a big asshole. It wasn't what they depicted him in winning time. It wasn't that. But we all can be that. We say things, but Jerry was always truthful. And he was always had a lot of compassion for you. And there was a time in my life where I was going through things after I retired from basketball and my first divorce, going through that. And Jerry West was always somebody that I could go talk to. He could lend you some advice, experience. He had a son. His oldest son passed away, a drug overdose. So that was always in him, about him.
He had a lot of tragedy in his life.
But you know what? He always handled it with the stern face and head up. Was that the right thing to do? Sometimes you got to be, but we're not with Jerry when he goes home to Karen and his kids. And if he cries, I'm pretty sure he did, but Jerry was always very solid guy. I like to say, and his role as far as a GM turned into like a father to some of us. I know that myself was his pick. Byron Scott, AC Green, James Worthy.
Think about that.
Michael Thompson. We were all kind of like his picks that helped solidify the Lakers' success in the 80s. And Jerry was always there, not just as a GM, but even off the court. One thing say about him, Jerry was always fast. When he got into a subject, he would talk real fast. And I found out he eats fast. Jerry eat. We used to go eat, and he'd be the first one finished. Let's go. He was a fast golfer. I would play golf with him one time. Jerry was like, okay. And I mean, he hit great shots. You didn't have to have this one or that one, because usually
no wasting time.
That's what we played, was his ball. So, but you know what? We lost a true, gentle, kind person. Kobe Bryant was his pick. I mean, we lost somebody, and that really affected him, Kobe's death.
Yeah, big time.
And I like to say, that they are in the place where we all want to be, up in heaven together. I know he's smiling down, and obviously, his wife Karen is she's dealing the best she could with her family. But we have her in our prayers, and just the best. Jerry was one of a kind, man. There'll never be another Jerry West, or as Chick Hearn say, the kid from Cabin Creek.
PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy app with over 5 million active members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. Get in on the daily action with your friends. Become part of the PrizePicks community today. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 players, their stat projections, and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks, with as little as 4 correct picks. You could turn $10 into $1,000. Prize Picks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Now, here's something that you can think about. What you can think about here with Prize Picks, here's an example of something you could... This is the whole idea behind the concept. Caitlin Clark for more than 3.5 three-pointers made, and Breanna Stewart for more than 23 points. See, it's that simple. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Fact. I have nothing to add to that. That was beautiful. It was perfect. The only thing I would say is it had to break your heart a little bit with the falling out with the Lakers in the past recent years, I guess.
Well, I didn't know much about it. I had just, you hear things, and I don't try to get too deep into that. But yeah, that was kind of sad the way that ended. I don't know who sparked that, but Jerry West was supposed to be a Laker for life. And he was just about basketball. So going to Memphis and going to Golden State and spreading the love of his knowledge of this game, and being with the Clippers always. So I'm not going to speak on that because I don't know much about it. But from what I hear, it was a sad thing, and just sorry that happened because everybody remembers Jerry West as a Laker, no matter what he did after that. So, but moving on. Now, since we're talking about the Lakers, let's talk about the Lakers' woes. And our woes have really been bad. And it starts with the head coach. Now, we had, what's the coach from UConn?
You had Hurley.
Okay, he brought in, and well, first of all, it was JJ Redick mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think the media and everybody kind of went crazy. How can you pick this guy with no coaching experience, period. And then what the Lakers did is they went to Hurley. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a big fog thing.
I think it was too.
That.
But you called that.
Going to leave there.
You called that, Coop.
It was a great smoke screen because what do they do when they don't get him? Boom, they come back and they hire JJ Redick quickly. So, you know what? But can he be successful? I really do believe, because the Laker organization is going to do everything to help him become successful. I think he has a team that's going to be very difficult to handle. I don't think the Lakers could have went out and brought in that closed fist, I'm a macho head coach, because I don't think LeBron and AD are those type of players to be yelled at and screamed at all the time. So this may be a perfect fit for JJ Redick. But there's one thing I do believe about this. Everybody talks about his basketball mind. I think anybody that played in the NBA 10 years or more have a great basketball mind, because you know the game. Okay, so don't come at me with that. I just think that he has a demeanor, and he's in the stage of, without any coaching experience, he's gonna be open to suggestions, open to everything about it. And I think that's what the Lakers are going to need right now. They're going to need somebody to kind of like, okay, let's work this out together, as opposed to, no, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to get it done like this. And that doesn't fit well with LeBron and AD, both of them at this stage of their career. So is he the best pick? No. But he's the pick that they need. It's not the pick that they want. They wanted something better, but they needed what this young man is going to bring. And I do believe JJ Redick is going to struggle. There's 3 things I put on my list for him that he's going to have to deal with. And one is going to be command respect of the players. I think that's going to be very difficult for him as a coach, and especially the guys down the line, because then, you 15 years in the league, you've done this and that. Yeah, you can't tell AD or LeBron what to do, but these other guys, y'all going to listen to me a little bit more. So it's command and respect of the team. I think the second and most important thing is going to be his preparation for the game. I think he will be good at that.
I think he's going to be really good at that.
Yeah, the preparation and getting ready for the game. He'll know what's going on the court. I think the Lakers are going to surround him with some assistant coaches that are going to really help him. And last but not least, and this is probably an important fact too, is going to be game management. How will he be able to deal with those situations? You're up by 3 with 2 minutes to play, and your play calling and working with the officials. I think those are going to be some delicate things that he will eventually learn. People have said this about him. They see him kind of like Steve Kerr. Well, I don't see him like that, because Steve Kerr at least has some managerial things he did up in the office, because that kind of filters down and helps you deal with players on the floor. But he has that potential. And you got to remember, LeBron and AD are not young. Steve Kerr got there when he had a young Klay Thompson, a young Draymond Green, a young Steph Curry, and
they grew together
and developed them. So,
I'm going to add to that.
What?
I think management of the media has to be added to that too.
Oh no, he'll handle that, because he's a great kid. I think he's going to be able to do that.
I think he's gonna spar with the media, Coop.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what?
Did you watch the intro press conference?
No. Well, you know what?
Give it a watch, Coop.
Listen, if he spars with them, you can't beat the media, because there's too many of them. Your job is to kind of like find that
manipulate
one, two that are the buttholes, and kind of like go with them. But the rest of them, when they ask them tough questions and pointed questions, you can't come off with it, because you know what? For 3 or 4 games, you might win and their pens go silent, but there's going to be 4 or 5 games where you're going to lose,
or they're going to start picking under the blanket. And in LA, it's like LA, New York, Boston. In LA, image is so important, and I think he's like, everybody kind of picks on Doc Rivers now, but Doc Rivers was the master manipulator of the media. He did it in Boston. He did it for years with the Clippers. If he can manipulate the media to be friendly to him or give him the benefit of the doubt, I think he'll last way longer. If the media he turns on them, they turn on him. The stories are going to come, and that distraction is so fucking toxic.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of Missoula. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Missoula has had his issues with the media, and it wasn't until the finals, maybe, that the media started to turn around and say, maybe Joe knows what he's doing. I'm not kidding, Coop. It was like this every game. Wow. He wanted to be Bill Belichick, and he's not. He hadn't won anything. And Redick's going to come in with that same reputation. You haven't won anything yet, and you're going to then spew out things in your press conference like, LeBron and I never discussed this.
That's what he said?
He dropped 2 F-bombs. I couldn't believe it. In a national press conference.
You better be careful, because they'll turn on you, and then the fans will turn on you, and then it's going to be a total mess. Well, that's enough.
I don't want to walk you. I don't want to walk you into a discussion that's going to get you trouble.
No, listen, anything I say is what I believe. But again, my belief is about the Lakers. It's always be about the Lakers. Okay. Last subject.
Wait a minute. What is a good season this year for the Lakers? Like, what is a good expectation for you?
You know the expectation I have?
Championship. I know, it's championship.
I'm glad you asked that. My expectation for this upcoming season is to be a legitimate playoff team, not a play-in team.
Yes.
Playoff team. If you can get in there and get that 8th on up or 7 on up for me, that will be a good season for the Lakers, because they make the playoffs. He learns, the team learns. LeBron's 1 more year almost out the door, or I mean, whenever he goes, but he's only going to get better to coach the team. And for me, it'll be, I'm not expecting a championship.
That's the first time in all the years I've known you, you've said that. So the last 4 seasons or 5 seasons, that's the first time you didn't predict a championship. Number one. Number two.
Listen, as much as I love the Lakers, Nick, I got to be real, baby.
You got to be real. And I think, like, with your assessment is true, because no matter what, when you have LeBron James on your team, if you're the 8th seed or the 1 seed, you have a chance to win.
Exactly.
You got LeBron.
Yeah.
So it changes everything. I think that's super realistic. I mean, that whole play-in, they have been flirting with that play-in game every season, the last 3 or 4. And the NBA is better when LA is good. They're better when the Lakers are good.
Yeah.
And
the Celtics.
And the Knicks.
When the Celtics and the Lakers are in the playoffs fighting, because there's that chance that they might meet at the end, and everybody wants to know about it. So
let me tell you, Coop, at the parade, they were chanting "Beat LA." It made no sense, but they were chanting "Beat fucking LA." It was great. And everybody's going, "We're not playing LA. Fuck them." Everybody's been on the JJ Redick kill out here. They hate
You know
him
what?
out here.
Listen, when you high, you'll say anything.
Oh my God! All right, what's your last topic, Coop?
Okay, last topic is our SBC.
Oh,
Start,
boy.
bench, and cut. And I
Is it
love
on
this
me again?
segment
'Cause
because
I didn't
I've been
prep-
digging deep, Nick.
I
I've
know.
been
What are you
digging
doing?
deep for you. So here we go, Nick. Let's see. We got 3 of them. Okay, first one: Klay Thompson, JJ Redick, and Danny Ainge.
Start Clay, bench Danny, cut Redick. Can't fucking put Redick out there. Celtic can't pick Redick.
It's different for me.
You know what you should have done?
Start
Wait. You should
bench
have done
Redick and cut Ainge.
Of course. But you should have done Coop. You should have done Kuzi, Bird, or Redick. You know,
No,
Redick
this is
called
mine. You come up with this. This is mine, Nick.
Redick called Kuzi a plumber and Bird a bad shooter. That would have been I would have loved cutting them and taking Kuzi.
Okay, the second
All
one.
right.
Luka, Magic, Dirk Nowitzki.
I'm gonna get killed for this one. Start Magic, bench Luca, cut Dirk. I don't know. I gotta start Magic. Yeah,
Start Magic.
I would start Magic. Bench Luca, cut Dirk.
Why? Dirk?
Because Luca's so good, man. I know I just watched him suck for 5 games.
Worst defensive player almost
Worst
ever played
defensive
this game.
player. Yeah, but I mean, why? What would you do on that one?
I would go start Magic, bench Dirk, and cut Luka. Because Dirk had a shot that was like almost unstoppable.
That fadeaway one legger.
So, all right, our last one, Nick. And this one here, I kind of went back in the archives on you a little bit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the Gus Williams?
Mm-hmm.
Gus Williams out of USC.
Mm-hmm.
Played for Super Sonics championship.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond Lewis. Remember Ray Lewis? Big time player. He got drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers. And him and Doug Collins had a beef going on.
Okay, all right.
Gus Williams, Raymond Lewis, and Doug Collins.
I mean, this one's easy, Coop, because I don't know Lewis, so I'm gonna go.
Well, wait a minute. Let me tell you a little bit about him. There's a documentary about him out now.
Really? On Netflix?
Yeah. It's good too. Read
on Netflix?
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Netflix or Hulu, one of the two. But Raymond Lewis was the best scorer ever. Raymond Lewis has 60 points in the game out here at halftime. And this is before the 3-point line.
In what league? The ABA? The ABA? What league?
Read about it. No.
I'll read about it.
So, Gus Williams.
Raymond Lewis,
Doug Collins. Go ahead.
I'm going to have to. I'll start Gus, bench Ray, and cut Doug.
Why? Doug was good.
Yeah,
you didn't like Doug Collins?
I liked him, but I mean, I like Gus Williams a lot. You didn't?
Don't let me feed all that Raymond Lewis stuff to you. Take your own educated guess. You would cut Ray Lewis and start Doug Collins. You know that. That's what they had. Went to Philadelphia, and they ended up blackballing Ray because he didn't want. He always said he didn't want to play behind a white guy.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And they chose Doug. They chose Doug over the guy who scored 60.
Doug Collins was good. You got to give that.
He was good, but I mean, was he a Hall of Famer? Is he a Hall of? He's a Hall of Famer as a broadcaster. Doug is he as a player?
And he's going in this year too.
As a player?
He's already in as a player. He's going in as a broadcaster.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
He's in that
contributor.
Class, so.
But I'm going to tell you what do we have? 2 weeks off now? You on the road?
Yeah.
So when we come back, I'm going to have 3 new ones for you because I love you. When I make you pick it, they go viral on social media.
Listen, when I come back, we got 2 guests I got lined up, Nick, that are really good.
Are you telling us or no?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to hit you with it the day you get there. And we're going to
sounds good.
Good. Nick, always a pleasure talking with you, man, and sharing a little bit of words of wisdom. And
awesome.
Glad to get back. You know
have
what?
Safe travels.
What?
Safe travels now.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the big 3 too, because that's where I'm going. Big 3. We're doing a lot of traveling. So thank you, Nick. Fans, that's it. Viewers, listeners, come on, keep coming. That's another Showtime with Coop. Insightful BS with my Laker teammates, NBA legends, and of course, Nick. Giant Slayer. He's an 18-time champion because he's a Boston Celtics fan, and we're gonna give him his last due. This will be the last time that you probably hear me say anything good about the
until
Celtics.
this time next year. Until
What?
this time next year. Until this time next year when we're doing this
Celtics
all
gonna
over
get
again.
their ass waxed in the second round of the playoffs next year. You got too many teams that are good. Cavs, Indiana. Them
Oh,
teams
get
are
out of
only
here.
getting better.
You're
So
killing your credibility, Coop. See you, buddy.
Nick.
Oh no,
And I'm not
he's
smoking
high.
anything over here. See you, man.